Hello and welcome to PrepEve, where we revolutionize how you prepare for IELTS. Today, I would like to welcome Dr. Suchitra Mishra to our success story series, and she's going to introduce herself now. So over to you, Dr. Suchitra.
Thank you so much, Sanjita, for introducing me to all the members and to all the upcoming who want to face IELTS in coming days ahead. Hi, dear all. I am Dr. Suchitra Mishra, and I am working as an associate professor and consultant microbiologist in Rourkela, Odisha.
All right. And what were your scores in the IELTS test?
Yes, Sanjita, I took this IELTS for the first time. My scores were pretty good. Thank you so much. And what I took was the scores in listening, it was 8.5. Reading, it was 7. Speaking, 7.5. And writing, it was 7. Overall score was 7.5.
All right, that's an amazing score for someone who has taken it for the very first time. So I'll repeat the scores. Listening 8.5, reading and writing was 7, and speaking 7.5. So how did you manage to do this? What's the strategy? What was your preparation like?
To be honest, I had the best thing that I could follow from all the tips that I was getting from the PrepEve team. Listening, I did stick to whatever was being taught, and the more thing that I stick is you pay attention. One needs to be attentive to what you are hearing. Now, for as an advice or as a help, if others would like to seek us, the more you hear of you are involved in listening to English movies or English dramas, or be it even English music, this helps you to differentiate between the words or the pronunciations. So that will just help you and boost your listening part. Considering for the speaking part, the mock IELTS that was shared with the PrepEve from the PrepEve team, and also that we had a mock session. Mock session with Pawandeep helped me a lot, in fact, because she could help me out point where I was lacking. More so it was with the idea, so that went well. And for reading, I have been an avid reader, and though off late I have not been able to do, but again this helped me because you need to focus what you're reading. You have to cram through it. You have to know where the questions are and how you link it. For writing, you need to practice because as I took up the GT, so you have to practice one with the formal letter, informal letter, semi-formal letters. Then essay writing, fortunately, on when I took it, the topic was comparatively a simpler and easier version.
Okay.
It was more like comparing your bicycles and car ride in the cities. So it was a topic related to that. So again, I had got the pestle idea that had been shared, be it your political or then your economical, social, anything legal, and all those views that ethical, those were need to be considered. So that helped me to frame idea and put it forward.
That's great. That's great. So this is what you did, but what was your preparation like at home? So what were you doing? How much time were you spending? Because a lot of students have this notion in their mind that I have to spend maybe 3-4 hours every day. And keeping in mind the fact that you're a doctor and you have a very hectic schedule, how did you manage all of it?
The one thing that I could do was keep listening because I had to be very attentive. So whatever was being discussed in class, I used to take the pen and take a note of it. Mm-hmm. Like whether you are learning what to speak. It's mm-hmm. not that we have not been as a professional, have been involved in teaching and everything has been going simultaneously. But what I read at this moment was to be in practice. Absolutely. So when I was in the PrepEve team, I could get points from others. I could get through the discussions. So they just kept me alive. In fact, this was something that helped me boost up. So like if I was for any topic, say speaking, I could, think 2 minutes and then just do it, rapidly revising through it. For listening, yes, I did have those CD, whatever that was being shared on the drive. I practiced with those few of the lessons. So those helped me a lot. Once you take up those practice sessions and do it on your own, that helps to take a note wherever you are lacking, and then you can overcome it.
Perfectly fine. So for the viewers, I would also like to add that she's not only a doctor, she's also a mother of uh, a great son who's in fourth grade, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and
And
my daughter, she is also she's in first grade.
okay, so she's a mother of two, and if she can manage time, if she can work, and she just told me before we started the interview that she had a 12-hour shift today. So,
Yeah.
12-hour shift is, I mean, I am out of words that she still managed to sit here and, spare her time for the interview. So, first of all, thank you for that again. And see, if you have decided, if you have dedicated yourself for the preparation, you will find time. Okay, excuses are for the ones who are not serious enough to crack the test. So if you really want to change your life, if you really want to get your PR, or if you really want to study in a different country, then of course you have to get off those excuses and work on committing to the preparation of the test and practicing. It's a matter of a couple of weeks. That's it. So how long did you practice? That question this part brings me to the question. How long was the preparation process?
Sanjita, I joined the PrepEve team in the month of Feb. So I had booked my exams in the Jan. So I had been taking up revising few of the IELTS book that I had procured earlier. But on a serious note, this preparation mostly came from the fact that I paid attention what was being taught, like all the presentation methods. All you can say, if you are speaking, then in what way should you take out or carry out? There have been moments when I have felt that I have a lot to say, but again I get stuck at some points. So this had indeed happened with me. For writing, there was a time I used to write a lot, but again there has been gap. There has been a wide gap. So for that reason, I used to take up the points. Like whenever in writing session it was being discussed in the class, how you take up, like if it's an essay, if it is a discuss, then you present, how do you present your points? If it's like which side you need to take, or you again, whether you are going for the positive or a negative, then again, how do you presentation? So all these discussions actually helped me a lot to organize what I needed to present and how we present. I think the most important again in all these is your time management coming to the writing section. That is one of the most critical, like task 2 having a higher weightage compared to task 1. So how do you need to focus on that? So even that kind of discussion helped me out to make myself mentally prepared when I'm taking up the exam.
Absolutely.
That's how I prepared myself.
That's great. That's great. So as I was saying, it's hardly a matter of couple of weeks to maximum a month for most of the students. If you have an average English already, then this is more than enough for your preparation. And this is the time that you have to invest. You don't have to invest hours and hours and months together for the IELTS preparation. That is not the case. If that is the misconception that you have in your mind, let me just clarify it. Just start today, and then by the end of the month, you can literally take the test. So you'll be well prepared. So perfectly fine. The next question that I would like to put is whether it was paper-based or computer delivered.
The place where I took up, I had the only option of taking a paper-based test.
All right.
Yeah. So okay. I took up the paper-based.
So how was the experience like with paper-based? Did you find it to be difficult? Was it fine? So how was the experience like?
I wouldn't say it was difficult. The main thing that I actually faced problem is initially for listening and reading, they asked us to write the answers with pencil. And it was during the writing section that they asked that you can take up write down either with a pencil or a pen. Then for listening, I think so it was easier because you had the headphones on and you go through the questions at the moment, then you can frame your idea. I mean, you can get the answers. So that was quite okay with me. I mean, I didn't face the problem there. Reading section also I went through. Might be with the score I could realize that I might have had made a mistake at 1 or 2 places.
That's so anyways, absolutely fine.
Yeah. And for writing, yes, I did face a problem in the sense with mostly with the time management, because though I had the points organized, it was with writing. When I was writing down, it was just the moments, because you need to stop the moment they say stop.
Yeah,
you can't proceed. Yeah, because they immediately they say that the marks will be deducted or you will be nullified from taking the further. So just the moment they say stop, you have to put the pen down.
Yes.
With that, even if I knew I had a sentence that was left, I had to put the pen down. So anyways,
And
time
you still
management is,
managed to score 7. So imagine if you would have completed that sentence.
yeah, because it was like I said, the essay writing, it was discuss your opinions, because few people believe that traveling to the cities by car is much better, and few others believe that traveling to the cities by bicycles is much more better. So discuss both the opinions and give your own.
All
So
right.
since it was a topic, like I had, okay, I'll give what is for the cars and what is for the bicycles, and then give me my presentation, my opinion, what is needed, and take up a side. So like that.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. Perfectly fine. So we've kind of discussed those set of questions in the class also, I
Yeah.
remember. So that I guess these days they're putting up discuss both sides and give your opinion a lot, because a lot of students lately who have been taking their test have mentioned that, this is the
Yeah.
directive that they get. Okay, that's nice. And when it comes to the time management part, I would like to give this tip to everyone who's watching this video, which is that whenever you're practicing at home, you have to practice in examination like situation. So sit in a comfortable study table chair scenario. I mean, create a proper setup for yourself and time yourself. You should be practicing under pressure so that you don't face the issue of time management in your actual test. So this is not just for writing, it applies for all the modules and especially for your reading. So in case of reading also, what we do is I know certain students who would start with the first two sections and take a pause or take a nap after that and then proceed to the next section. So that shouldn't be done. You have to complete the entire reading part in 1 hour. So whatever it is, maybe in the beginning, in the first few practice tests, you can still take some extra time, but after that you have to try to practice under pressure and under similar circumstances as you would come across in your real test. Okay, so perfectly fine. Any specific tips or any specific information that you would like to share with the future aspirants that will be watching your video? Any guidelines, any motivation, any tip, any myth that you had which has now been broken up because, or with any misconception that you had which is now sorted out and resolved because you've finally taken the test? Anything of that sort?
Honestly, I used to think that as must have been I mean, like it would have been a harder, like you take your exams for the class 10th or 12th, whatever we had
Oh
taken,
my
being in
God.
the boards. That was my initial thought. But after I went through it, I found, okay, this one is comparatively, like it's a much better. I mean, it's on a lenient tone. If you have been working on it, if you have been writing, if you have had a habit of reading, then this would come easily to you.
Absolutely.
So for all the future aspirants, I think so. The one thing that I can say from my side, develop a habit of reading. So that once you start reading, you know where you cram over, where you can just go superficially, and then that helps you. The speed increases. Once your speed increases, you know you can go through it multiple times. And
Definitely.
after reading and questions, because honestly, we had that kind of thing during our school exams also. So well, comprehension and everything.
Mhm.
When we go through it, reading, the more you read, the more you can know where you have to go in deep or where you can go superficially.
Right.
Plus over, I mean, like starting while getting through the process of getting into it, the exam section, we had this that put on your mask. They had to take the
Mhm.
your biodata, confirm with the fingerprints, and
Mhm.
for again passport scans, all the copy. You need to have the copies ready so that you don't need to venture out to get anything else done. You have to have the paperwork ready with you. So
Okay.
that was, yeah.
I keep saying this to all the students that it is just another English test. So you've been studying English throughout your school and maybe even your college if you had that as an elective subject. And you've been, writing all your tests in English as well. Most of the students are from English medium schools and colleges. So that's the case. And if you have been, studying for the last, 10 to 15 years in the English language, there's nothing to be afraid of. You just need to
Yeah,
strategize, practice, and go for the test. That's it. And
absolutely.
that should be the mindset. It's not at all similar to the board exams. Nowhere
Yeah.
close to that, nowhere near to that. And the next thing that you mentioned regarding the COVID-19 and all of that. So I'm sure a lot of people would have this thing in mind. How safe is it to go? So are they keeping all the precautions in mind? Because now again, the cases are increasing these days. So,
Yes.
and of course,
Even with the
as a doctor, I guess you'll be able to give us better insight into how the center conditions are, and what should be done on a personal level as a test taker. What precautions should I be taking, and otherwise as well?
Yeah, on the center, like it was with my personal experience, the center had maintained adequate distance between the candidates. So it was and moreover, during that time, fortunately, the cases hadn't increased that much.
Okay.
Like it was, I had taken the listening, reading, and writing test on 27th. So there was a pretty much like it was a huge room, and they had accommodated it perfectly fine. Everyone, it was mandatory for everyone to keep the masks on. I think so. Even as a doctor, I would like to say that everyone should move wherever they are, traveling or being with people. Keep the masks on because these are going to protect you, and follow the hand sanitization rules. Even with the coming when I had the speaking exam, fortunately, like I was a candidate who had to go in first. So at that time also they had made it mandatory. The centers had all the sanitizers located appropriately at places. Only you need to have your mask on. Only when they took your for the confirmation for identification that you had to let the mask down. And even while during speaking with the examiner, the IELTS examiner, they had the recorder on, and they had asked to speak loudly because once you are in a mask, whatever you say that gets a bit hazy and it gets phased out.
Right.
Like so, I had been asked to be loud enough so that it is audible and that can be recorded and assessed.
Right.
So that is all those measures.
So did you have an actual person, or was it like a Skype or a video call going on?
No, it was a one-to-one, face-to-face interview.
Yeah. Okay, face-to-face, because in certain center these days, it's happening online. So it's like a Skype call or maybe a Zoom call. Again, one-to-one, of course, but it's not in person. It's online. So I just wanted to confirm that as well. Okay, so we have an approval from the doctor herself, so it's safe to go. And of course, she's just talking about her center, but I'm pretty sure they are keeping in mind all the precautions, because they have faced the brunt of the pandemic. They were not able to conduct tests, and now that they're back with all the precautions, and they're taking all the necessary advices, and giving you the advices, and of course the precautions that have to be taken. And you need to be serious about them, because you are your own boss and you should be taking care of your own self. Nobody else will do that for you. So just keep that thing in your mind. And it was lovely talking to you, Suchitra. And we did not only get information about the IELTS test, but also some insight into the center and the pandemic situation. So thank you so much for that. Any parting words?
I would like to thank the PrepEve team wholeheartedly, because I knew this was a kind of like support that I had with me. You couldn't believe me, because even if I used to be tired after work, I had to put on these headphones, because I know I will listen this and I'm going to keep these things, information in mind. So whatever it might have elapsed or whatever I might have done, keeping all those things in mind helped me a lot. So it has been wonderful being with you, being with Harith, and Pavandeep. She took all the effort, even during it was a Holi, and she spared the time to chit chat so that we can have a practice session. So
right. So 27th, all right. Okay.
Yeah, and like I had my speaking initially scheduled for 28th Sunday, but later on it got postponed for 31st. So with that, Holi was there, and again, so she got the time. So we had a one-to-one interaction and everything assessment that helped a lot.
We always say this, even on the group and even on WhatsApp, that we prioritize the students who have their test. And when we say that, we mean it. So it's not like it's Holi. We know that you have your test tomorrow and you would need some, motivation, some pep talk before that. So we keep that in mind, of course. So thank you so much for the lovely conversation that we had. Thank you so much for sparing time after a 12-hour shift. Like, I appreciate each and every person from the medical background who's been, helping us out not just in the pandemic, but even before that, but it's just that after this pandemic or during the pandemic, the appreciation has increased. And we are really proud of you guys. From all the viewers, from the PrepEve team, I would like to thank you for being a doctor and for taking time out and choosing this as your profession. So thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for letting us interview you and imparting all the knowledge and information to the viewers. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure for me.
All right. So thank you guys. Subscribe to our channel and keep watching. Thank you so much. All right. Let me just